So this video is going to be a bit different, not the usual tutorial video, but today I'm going to be talking about a project that I've been working on for, I don't know, just a little teensy little bit. So I'll be explaining about what I'm talking about right now with a bit of editing on top of a speed paint of the first piece of this project, as well as answering a lot of questions you guys have asked me in the later half of this video. So without further ado, let's get into it. So who are we making? Well, if you couldn't tell by the title of this video, let me introduce you guys to my first original character, Rel. I've been working on her design in this entire project for the past few months, and I think it's to the point where I feel comfortable sharing her with all of you guys. Now, the reason I say project is because this is just the beginning. What does that mean? Well, I don't want to spoil the surprises, but for now, what I will say is I want my characters and stories to be a show not tell type of experience. And it's for that reason that I won't be disclosing a lot of information about Rel right now, because I want it to be shown later down the line with my artworks with her. I don't want it to be just one big exposition dump at the beginning, but I don't want to leave you guys completely in the dark right now. So for starters, the reason I'm releasing her with just a general character sheet and not a design reference sheet is because, one, it's just more interesting, and two, because her design isn't completely finished yet. Well, it is, but I don't want to show you guys right now. Let's just say that there's a few big aspects to her that aren't completely shown or explained just yet, but once they are, I will be dropping a full character reference sheet as well as a few diagrams that I would like to call the Angel case files, of which I'll be considering this character sheet as the first entry. Outside of that, let's talk about some general design choices I made and a synopsis so you guys get the gist of things. So for starters, she's an angel, if you couldn't tell by the 4 wings she has, but outside of that, she's an employee of a certain life insurance company. Now, what does life insurance mean in the context of this world? What's inside her suitcase? Why does she wear glasses sometimes and not others? Who knows, but what I do know is that this piece is the beginning of our glimpse into her story. She's just woken up and is currently checking herself out in the mirror before heading out to another day of work. Now, I know a few of you might be thinking she looks a bit simple, and I know. That's kind of part of the design. I want her to be kind of like a mascot outside of myself of this channel, like a mainstay character that's going to be showing up a lot of the time. And for that reason, I want her design to be a lot more grounded and easy to draw. Right now, she's using her main work uniform, but who knows, later on, she could be in a lot more casual clothing doing... we'll figure it out. We'll work on it. We'll work out the kinks. But what is set in stone is pretty much everything outside of the clothes, her halo, her wings, her eyes, stuff like that. That's her motif. That's pretty much what defines her. Well, that on top of a few things that I'm going to show later on. Now, I don't plan on adding new pieces or steps to the story until they're completely ready. So this is going to take a while. This is going to be more like a multi-year story or world that I'm going to try to create rather than something that I want to rush out weekly or something like that. But sometimes, of course, I might want to just draw it for fun. So pieces related to the story will be numbered just like the Angel case files. I hope you guys enjoyed your design and look forward to seeing what kind of story and characters that I'm trying to create over the next few years, but that's enough of Rel. Let's get into the questions. I asked you guys in a post to ask me any question that you guys want, so let's see what we've got here. Alright, how long have you been drawing? A bit over 4 years. To be more specific, the first time I ever made a picture on top of a piece of paper for the purpose of drawing things was back in December of 2020. But then I never really got serious until 2021, so do with that as you will. What's my general purpose and what made me start making art, as in what's pushing me to pursue something that's considered difficult? In terms of starting, it's been a long time, but I think I started because I just kind of realized how cool artists are. This was back in high school during the pandemic. I was a classic weeb, watching anime, playing video games, stuff like that, but I never really thought about how the things that I enjoyed were made. But it was when I got Twitter in 2020, I know, the beginning of the end, but after a little while, I just kind of stumbled upon a piece of art that I really liked. So I looked into the artist that made it. Instead of thinking, oh, this is sick, I probably could never make something like this, I thought, yeah, I could probably do that, which in hindsight was extremely stupid, but I mean, whatever gets you started, I guess. And as you could probably guess, I utterly failed, but it was interesting because I'd never really failed at things before then, at least at nothing that I really cared about doing. But then I thought a little more. Had I actually ever really cared about doing anything before then? Had I ever done anything in my life that actually got me so irritated when I failed because I really wanted to achieve it, and was so hard to the point where I couldn't just figure it out within like a month or something? I just kept failing. You know, it's art. And that answer was no. And that no is kind of what fuels me today. I mean, there's no general purpose or anything. It's cool, it's fun, it's what I want to do, and that's that. What's pushed me to do something difficult? Well, I mean, would it be interesting if it was easy? Would anyone care about your art if art was something easy that everyone could do? The difficulty is kind of pretty much what makes it interesting. It's what makes it cool. What music do I listen to? Do I listen to music? Obviously, I listen to music. I would go insane without music. What, you think I just draw in silence for hours on end? Now, what type of music I listen to, I honestly don't even know at this point. I mean, I listen to so much. I don't even know if there's a genre at this point. I will say Kenshi Yonezu is my J-pop coach. Same with Fujikaze and Polka Dot Stingray. In terms of American artists, we got the usual, Tyler the Creator, Kendrick. You don't gotta listen to me talk about why Kendrick is good, okay? Everyone knows this. Let's move on. Where do you see art in the future, short and long term? I do have a whole lot of artists that I take big inspiration from, namely Dino, as I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have noticed how I use his works in like all of my tutorial videos all the freaking time. So something along his vibe or vein, I'm sure even in this speed paint you're watching right now, it's very much along the same kind of messy, sketchy, painter-like style. Now, I don't want to just be Dino 2, the Electric Boogaloo. I do take a lot of inspiration from a lot of other people, but I will say Dino is pretty much the forefront, kind of just the main branch that I take all my references from. Now in the short term, I'm sure you could just see me experimenting a lot. I use a lot of weird brushes, the high contrast pop like color schemes, stuff like that. Who knows if that'll stay in the long term, but for now I'm just trying out a bunch of different things. How to make paintings more textured, especially backgrounds. Texture comes from value, as I said in the previous video, but aside from the theory aspect of it, in order to achieve a good texture, you also need a master of your brush. I'm not saying that you need to use specific specialized brushes. What I'm saying is that you need to be the master of the brushes that you do use. How well are you able to create gradients, hatch, make good looking hard or soft edges, all with one brush? And then once you're able to do all of that with one brush, try doing it with others, and then you can start mixing and matching and start making really interesting looking textures. If I had to pick a favorite piece of media, like a TV or a game, what would it be? Well, if I had to pick a favorite piece of media, it would definitely be video games. I love manga and anime and other traditional media, but video games are the only ones that really combine everything. Interactability on top of artistic vision in the visuals and music, audio design, cutscenes that are pretty much like animations or shows. It's all an amalgamation of every media into one, hopefully good package. Best video game of all time? Honestly, I don't really know if I have a number one of all time. It probably changes from like month to month, but for now, it's definitely the Monster Hunter series. I started with World back in 2019. I played Rise and the Generations Ultimate, and now Wilds is out, and I love everything about this entire series. It's so good. How do I go about studying a specific artist's style, especially those who have a more painterly style or somewhat messy? Find a bunch of pieces and find a through line of their intentions and why they make the artistic decisions they do. This is the same whether or not the artist is clean or messy. And once you know why they do a specific thing in the specific way, then you start to worry about the how. Things like finding their speed paints and work in progresses help a lot with this. Now, in terms of the how, it's a lot of theory and knowing your fundamentals and knowing how they manipulate their fundamentals in that way. What's your favorite Pokemon? Lucario. Mega Lucario is the best. If I want an art style like yours, what do you think I should do to achieve that? I honestly don't really know. I don't really feel like I've completely locked in on particular style, but the way I use my inspiration to create a quote-unquote style is to always have references of them right next to what I'm actually making, kind of like a style reference sheet, so that what I'm making, that style kind of rubs off on that. Will I be doing commissions? Well, it depends on a lot of things. First and obviously biggest is skill, price, and time. With my current skill, I could probably charge a decent amount that might be worth it, but to do commissions while building up a relatively new channel, while improving my own skills, while going to college, isn't really worth it right now, especially given the current prices that I can charge at. The other thing is exposure. How many people would actually care if I open up commissions? I haven't done commissions before, so I'm not completely sure, but given how hard it is just to get people to click on that sub button, I'm not convinced a lot of people will be willing to spend a considerable amount of money on my art just yet. Now, given a few things free up here and there and I get significantly bigger and better and faster at art in the next year or two, I will most likely consider it, but to try and sell something prematurely right now, it's just not the greatest idea. When I do a face reveal, maybe you should ask when I'll bother to even give myself a mouth first. Where and how did I I learned to use Procreate. I think there's been a misunderstanding here because I have no idea how to use Procreate. I made like 2 posts using Procreate with like a single brush and 1 layer because I didn't know how to do anything other than that, so I have no idea. But trying different art programs could be a good video idea in the future. So yeah, how many push-ups can I do in the row with good form? 40 with good form, about 70-ish with mid form. I don't go to the gym, don't judge me. If you're not sure on what you should be studying in order to progress, what should you do? So if you don't know what to study, easiest thing to do is to draw something to the best of your ability, ideally in the main genre or way that you would want to create it, not just doing a study, but making your own thing. And then you analyze the biggest problems that it has and then start working on those one by one. Pretty simple. I want to be able to draw sussy things, so can you please help me choosing colors of skin, especially pressing it. Okay, wouldn't the parts of the skin covered by clothes be the same as the skin that you can see? Actually, I like monetization. Let's just move on. How do I use different references and mix them into one artwork? If there's something that I don't know, I find a reference for it. Very simple concept, but to keep it consistent, as I mentioned before, I keep a couple extra references just for the mood and style that I want to create. Okay, I think we're about done with that, and with that, you've officially been tricked into watching an entire 12-minute speed paint. I just saved myself like 10 hours worth of editing. Let's go. Next time, I'm expecting better questions like what's your credit card information, where do you live, how tall are you, vertical and horizontal, you know, the real questions. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope you guys enjoy Rel, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.